Notice here we have data for boots, socks, gloves, and hats, the sales information by each month from January through May. And it's stored as JSON information. So this is set up different in our config file as opposed to when we had this information as arrays in each of them. So we're going to take the sales information and move it up to its own variable, a constant. So it's only there once. And then for each of these diagrams or bars that we're going to draw, we're going to say it's going to be label, and then it'd be like hats, boots, and so on. Data is going to be data colon, and then the name of that variable, and then the parsing. X-axis key is the month, Y-axis key is that variable name. We've changed some of the data to be negative, something we haven't done before. So that shows below the line, and notice that the 0 line moved up. That's going to catch us later for scales, then X colon, then stacked is true. Same thing with Y colon, stacked is true. So that it lines up perfectly. Now notice that the order doesn't work right. We put an order for 1 on the first one, order 2 in the second. That's the order that they're to be displayed. But because some of this is negative, it's going to show below the line in spite of the order. It may be drawn in that order, but it's drawn below the line because it is negative. Next thing, we're going to stack these. Now this is not in the scales, the stacked command. No, this is in the data set. We're going to say stack, not stack, but stack, colon, and then you give it a name, a label that you invent. So we just said shoe, or shoes, or feet. And we stacked the boots and the socks together. Sounds great. Next thing we come to, and we see an error. We put a max and a min on the Y scale, and we set that as a 0. Now this happens when, for example, you're switching back and forth between various years and so on. You want to keep the scales the same so things aren't jarringly moved about. But you have to get those max and mins right, or you get not an error message. If you set that min wrong, like I did just here, I set it to 0 instead of -20, then there's no warning at all. And when you go to display it, again, there's no warning. The data simply does not appear. So it's easy to send a product out to your client that has an error in it.